I know a big part of my audience is 65 and plus, and I just wonder how many of you are settled, How many of you are living the dream life that you thought of when you were 19, 20, 22, 23? And good morning from the Willow Rose Cottage. I just wanted to stop for a few minutes before I started my day doing more of this and this, and kind of have a little chat about something that's been on my mind. I I have two friends my age that just moved. One moved out of state from California to Arizona, and one moved across state. She lived in Upper Texas. She moved down to the lower area of Texas, and um, my question to both of them was why at 60 plus, 65 plus, are they choosing to just up and completely move to a whole nother place? And the reason I'm questioning that is I have to, and I'm trying to make a plan. And I really have spent the last 5 years trying to figure out what I'm going to do when I retire. Well, within that 5 years, maybe a year ago, as you know, I got injured very seriously and I have not been able to go back to work. And I have a whole reconstructive surgery going on this month. So, for my hand. So what I've decided to do is I am taking things out of the really big, huge boxes they were originally stored in, and I'm putting them down into smaller boxes that are manageable for me. So that's why there's so many, because when it comes time for me to move, um, I want to be able to manage my load without damaging my hand further. So my question is, I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to figure out at what point is this generation settled? And the reason I say this generation is because so many women, I guess, I don't want to say that specifically because I don't know, but 99% of my friends are female. So I will just pull from the demographic that I know, and they are unsettled. I don't, one of my friends is settled, one, one. And I just wonder why we're so unsettled. When I got married to my first husband, I was so amazed when I met his grandmother and grandfather, excuse me, but mostly his grandmother. And the reason is she got married to his grandfather as a wedding gift. He had her house built. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, it's the dust. Everything is so dirty and dusty. So he had her house built in Sacramento, and it was like a 1920s arts and crafts house. Beautiful house. He furnished it, completely furnished it, curtains, all the way from curtains all the way down to carpeting. She had the same furniture and the same curtains until the day she died. And I was so enamored with that. And I remember telling my then husband, that's me. You and me, we're going to buy a house. And you know what? I'm going to furnish that house, and I'm going to live in that same house until the day I die. And I'm going to die in that. She died in that house. And I told him, I am going to die in that house. Anyway, so I didn't tell my husband. My husband at the time and I talked about how we were going to structure our lives. And we made the decision he would take care of the money part of the house, and I would take care of the house and children. So I was a stay-at-home mom. He earned money. I ran the house and the children. We had 3 children together. All that was going fine. And then as the story goes, he had an affair, and I was really proud. I didn't want to forgive him, so I don't know if I left him or if he was happy to be out of the marriage. I'm not sure, but one way or the other, that ended. And then I kind of rebound into another relationship. I was in that relationship for 4 years, moved twice during that time period, and then I was single for 10 years, and I was like, I don't want to do this until I find the person that I love, that I can build my life with. Well, 10 years later, I found my last husband, and we were married 20 years, and I thought that was it. I mean, I thought, this is it. We're going to be together forever. And then, the story, I won't go into it. If you don't know the story, you can imagine why I'm sitting here single at 65, packing up all my things by myself with an injured hand. And I just don't know why things are not more stable. Like, why are we not a stable generation? All I wanted ever was my own home and my little family. It's all I ever wanted. I remember telling somebody years ago, before I had my third baby, because my third baby rendered me unable to have more children. But I remember saying I wanted 9 children, and they were like, wow, 9 children. I was like, well, 7, but 9, if I could go for 9, and I wanted 9 children, and 7 at the minimum. And they were like, oh my God, we're kind of shocked, like, whatever. And I said, do you know what my end goal is when I'm an old lady with my husband, which was then my husband, my first husband. I said, when I'm an old lady with him and we're just sitting in our big house and it's empty because all of the rooms of all the children have all moved out and the rooms are empty, and then all our grandchildren come back, like 9 children, having 2 children apiece, at least 18 to 25 grandchildren everywhere running around. that was my goal. That was my what, oh gosh, I must have been 21-year-old goal. I mean, everybody's running around drinking and carrying on and doing this and doing that, and I'm like planning out my grandchildren's bedrooms in my dream house. And so I think it's ironic that I'm alone, because I was that young woman that wanted nothing more than just my family. I wanted to have a large family, a large immediate family, lots of children, all sitting around. Maybe it was the Waltons. Do you think the Waltons did that to me? Maybe watching the Waltons did that to me. I don't know. But, like that, sitting around the big wooden table and cooking. And so I just wonder about, I know a big part of my audience is 65 and plus, and I just wonder how many of you are settled, how many of you are living the dream life that you thought of when you were 19, 20, 22, 23, all those years that you're planning your life. I just sit here amongst all these boxes of all my possessions, and probably half again more out in the barn that I need to continue working through. And I'm just like, I'm not a grandchild in sight. I don't know. So I just don't understand why nothing is permanent anymore. And I don't know if it's just my life, if it's just the choices I've made. I want to be settled, I'm tired of waiting. It just seems like I'm always waiting for that thing. Like, I'm waiting for my hair to grow out. I'm waiting for my hand to heal. I'm waiting for surgery. I'm waiting for my hand to heal. I'm waiting to be able to have a steady income so I can get a loan. I'm waiting to buy a house. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for Louis to grow up and stop being so difficult to deal with. I'm waiting. I'm always waiting. It's like, when do I like, what was it? John Lennon said something, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want life to pass me by. My kitty keeps walking on the tripod. This is Lunar. Lunar doesn't make very many appearances anymore. Louis been being a bad boy, so he had to go into his crate for some quiet time. So come on, come on. So Lunar gets to run around without him worrying about Louis. Okay, that was fun. Okay. I have to get to work. I just wanted to make this video. I don't know. I don't even know if I'll post it. It just feels like I'm so unsettled, and I'm 65 years old, and my life was supposed to be, I guess everybody can say that. My life was supposed to be so much different than it is, but sometimes I just sit and I think, what decisions did I make? I mean, you know, that led me here. Thinking of the future and how much nicer it's going to be when I'm finally settled in my own forever home. And yeah, so until then, stay tuned and stay whimsical.